Because you're a female, have some money. Because you followed me back.
I'm gonna try to say this as delicately as I possibly can, but money is quite literally the only thing a lot of cishet men bring to the table.
Imagine being so spoiled and fortunate to live in beautiful Western 21st century society to be able to believe such nonsense. But you know what? Let's play this game.
No, because really think about it, most of you guys can't stay faithful.
Most of us, milady, this is how I know you. This is your brain stuck on Chad and Tyrone. This is your brain stuck on high value males. This is what happens when you believe in the apex fallacy, or rather, when you're just stupid. But the act of courting a woman takes effort. It is quite the investment. If a man really cares about you and he goes to the act of investing in you, he probably is not going to jeopardize that by being unfaithful. Unless, of course, there's some kind of psychological trauma or problem going in with him in that relationship. Meaning that usually if a man does end up cheating on you, if you believe that most men cannot be faithful, it's because you've surrounded yourself with a bunch of men that have lots of female options, and thus it's easy for them to move in between relationships. You got Chad, you got Tyrone. But it would do you wise to move away from your ignorance and stupidity and recognize that most of us men don't have relationships to not be faithful, to lack faithfulness in to begin with, dumbass. It's not most of us. The vast majority of men aren't able to even be able to get into one consistently long relationship.
Most of you don't possess emotional intelligence.
You know, I see lots of women talk about males' lack of emotional intelligence. And as an individual who's spent a lot of time trying to understand myself emotionally and then trying to understand other people emotionally, and spending a lot of time looking into human psychology and understanding how people's brains works and function, I have to say, as an individual that possesses a hilariously huge amount of emotional intelligence and logic, that honestly most women are kind of talking out their ass here when they say men lack it. Because the implication implies that women have it and they don't. In fact, lots of people don't even understand how they themselves operate, let alone think or have enough empathy to really start investing in how other people are thinking. To suggest that men are the ones lacking in emotional intelligence, but women seem to just have this masterful understanding of it, it's just not true. Not only just from my experience of talking to women and seeing how a lot of them are desperately insecure, and a lot of them don't even understand how themselves function, let alone how other people in general function. It's not a good implication, number one. It's not a fair implication to imply. But number two, I'm going to be really honest with you. Even the possession of emotional intelligence doesn't actually endear women to you to begin with. Like, again, as an individual who has a great understanding, and it's not perfect, there's lots of things I don't know, but with as much as I do know, I know vastly more than most people. And with an individual that possesses a vastly stronger understanding of human emotions and psychology than most people do, I'm gonna tell you, women don't give a damn. It doesn't endear them to you. It doesn't make them like you anymore if you understand how they work and operate. If anything, they will seal you within the friend zone rather quickly and then use you as their own personal psychiatrist or their own personal therapist or their own validation machine, their own little personal validation machine. It's happened to me a lot growing up. You know, with as much understanding, they love to use me emotionally and they love to use my understanding to help them out. They love to use me to comfort them, but they didn't give a damn about me as a person. They were the ones, interestingly enough, lacking in emotional intelligence you say we men here do not possess. The point that I'm making is that this really doesn't exist here to say that men lack emotional intelligence, although I'm certain a lot of them do. It's more just another metric to point at to say that you men suck. It's just another way to measure how men are failing than it is anything that women actually want, use, need, or desire. Because most women don't really think too hard or care about men emotionally, because if they did, they never would believe that men don't have emotions, like it seems to be the common trait or theme that they have. And they certainly wouldn't believe that they're the ones doing the majority of the emotional labor either.
So women are left doing the emotional labor in the relationship.
And then you say it. I didn't mean. I guess I activated my Sharingan too soon, huh? Anyhow, again, women aren't doing most of the emotional labor. It's just that women are more expressing their emotions more often. And that's because there's much more of an accepted outlook, or outlet rather, not outlook, but outlet for women to do so. I mean, people not only have a greater expectation of women to be able to become more vulnerable and more open, but people are more willing to try to fix and help and solve those problems as well. Not just women between women, but men between women. On the other hand, the reason why women believe that they shaft much more emotional labor than males is because they don't actually want to help men out emotionally. Now, this isn't to say that there is no woman in the world that exists like this. It's not to say there are no women out there who are definitely going to have empathy and kindness and strive to help young men out and help their male friends out. They do certainly exist, but they're few and far between for reasons that go well beyond the scope of this video. The point being is that you're just saying this as another way to say that men suck. You don't really actually care. Because if you wanted a male that certainly had emotional intelligence, you'd have one. But evidently you don't, because here we are.
Most of y'all don't carry your weight when it comes to the housework or the children.
Oh, is that right? So have you ever cut some grass before? You ever raked some leaves? You ever went outside and shoveled some snow? Tell me, how often do you get all of the little critters, all the little insects and rats out of your house? You set those traps? You set the mice traps and the rat traps, right? Do you grab a shovel and kill any snake that gets inside of your home? Because if you don't do any of that, you can shut right the fuck up. I am so beyond tired of young ladies saying this nonsense, and none of them go out to cut any grass. None of them go out to do any lawn work, fam. None of them. Go rake some leaves, fam, and then come back and talk to me about the share of doing housework. No, you don't wash the dishes. You don't do the laundry. You live in the 21st century, fam. You're not hand washing laundry. You pick it up, you put it in the machine, and then you turn the dial, you set the timer, you push the buttons, you put in the detergent, you close the lid, and then you walk away. Come on! This is not pretend. You wash it. You don't wash the dishes. Oh, they don't open the rack, put the dishes inside the rack, close it, put some jet dry in there. Boop, press the button. Yeah, okay, let's just say you don't use a dishwashing machine. Let's say you actually hand wash your machine. So you hand wash your dishes. So basically, oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, let me just rinse this. It's so hard. Oh, just the stain, it won't come out. Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to get the stain out. Oh man, it's so tough washing these cups. It's so hard. I have washed dishes. I have washed clothes. Let me tell you something. If I had to wash dishes and wash clothes and vacuum the floor for the rest of my life to never again touch a fucking lawnmower, I would do it in a heartbeat. If that's all I ever had to do to never rake leaves again, fam, I'm gonna get some Dawn. Let me get the Dawn Platinum. Dawn Platinum grease removal. Let me get some of that. You want some Tide? Let me get some of the Tide over here. The Tide Pods? Let's go. Come on, fam. I am so beyond tired of this nonsense. And to me, again, I'm not saying that, like, housework isn't important. It is important. But it's not hard. It's just tedious. It's tedious, and it's annoying, and it's boring. But it is important. But to sit here and pretend that men don't do physically demanding labor around their house, they don't do stuff that's dangerous, like killing snakes, dealing with rats, dealing with insects. I know it seems... okay, first of all, if you're a woman, you can't hold this position, by the way, which is... I'm about to explain. You can't hold this position. You can't hold the position that killing these small animals is low effort, doesn't require much, and isn't dangerous, and then refuse to do so. You just can't. You can't... Like, if you're a woman, you can't reply with, oh, well, it's just a small snake. Oh, it is? Then you kill it. Oh, it's just a small roach. Oh, you kill it. Go on, you. You set the rat traps. You clean it up then. You pick it up then. You do it. You do it. Go on, you. You can't hold that position, by the way, if you're a young lady. It's, again, all this stuff is important. I'm not sitting here to say it's not important, but stop pretending that men don't do it. Stop pretending that we don't have a jobs or role that cutting the grass isn't hard. Stop pretending that cleaning the house isn't hard. It is hard. It's difficult. And if you're not going to do it, shut up. I'm so tired of this nonsense, fam. It's like, chill out, fam. You don't cut the grass. You don't rake the leaves. You don't I've never shoveled snow and I'm not gonna. You don't shovel any snow. Yeah, come on. And if you don't set the traps, and if you don't kill the snakes, if you don't do any of that stuff, shut up.
And most of you guys can't satisfy women sexually.
Okay, all right, fine. Let me say I address this one seriously. My friend, help me out here. You pick men that don't like you. Then you come back and complain about the fact that the men that don't like you don't satisfy you sexually. What's this you say? Men that only wanted to use you like a fleshlight, only used you like a fleshlight, and did not care too much for your sexual satisfaction? Who would have thought?
Which means the bulk of your value stems from how much money you make.
You might not want to die on that hill, because anything you say after this point is just going to make you sound like a prostitute, and I don't think that's what you want.
On top of that, a lot of cishet men don't even like women.
So, you are admitting that you interact with men that don't like you. You think maybe that might be the problem? You think that might be, there might be a little bit of the issue there?
So why are we acting like this isn't a two-way street? The same way women will enter relationships with men solely for money is the same way in which men enter relationships with women for consistent sex.
So that's just prostitution. You're just describing being a prostitute, by the way. And also, I would like to add that, well, there are actually some men that end up in like sexless marriages, so it's not necessarily a guarantee in the 21st century, unfortunately, that you'd be able to consistently have sex with your wife. Sucks, but I didn't make the rules. I just recognized them.
Women don't seek out men with money because we're just manipulative users by nature.
No, it's just that some of you guys are trained to be so. And because you don't have any morality and you never learned that with great power comes great responsibility, you don't feel like there's any need or drive to be righteous and be good moral people. Instead, you see that men aren't righteous and moral, so why should I have to be? Men are so bad. I don't have to be a good person either. I can just use and manipulate men too, because they use and manipulate me, and the world never becomes any better because people are just too fucking stupid to sit down and say, maybe we should just stop interacting with shitty people.
Because we see through men.
Oh, you activate your own Sharingan. I'm sorry, you activate your Byakugan. You see through men. If you see through men, why don't you just date the men that treat you well and that like you? I'll wait. Actually, if I wait, I'll die. Just wrap us up.
And we know that if we attach ourselves to someone who barely sees us as a person, we may as well be getting something out of it.
So again, you admit that you are a prostitute. Thank you for that. But two, do you not see the folly in attaching yourself to someone that doesn't like you? You're a better woman than me. I wouldn't. Couldn't be me.